Let me now bring in former Ohio State Senator and Bernie Sanders' 2020 campaign co-chair, Nina Turner, and Republican pollster, Justin Wallen. Good morning to both of you. Thank you for your time.
Good morning.
Starting in California, of course, Democrats so far haven't gotten the results that they were hoping for on Tuesday. Again, Hilton is leading the governor's race. Spencer Pratt's probably going to move on to November. Also, the party's on the verge of losing in a district specifically created for Democrats to pick up. Nina, let me start with you. What went wrong for Democrats in California this week?
I mean, they definitely have to do some soul searching, Marky. In California, there really is no excuse for Democrats not to be blazing strong. The fact that they have supermajorities in the legislature, they control almost every single office in that state. This really is about the lack of the Democratic Party really having not just a strong message, but since they have the power, what have they done for the people? In one of Janet Jackson's seminal songs, "What Have You Done For Me Lately?" And so it is very clear. This should be a clear sign to Democrats all across the country that if Democrats are struggling in the great state of California, then that is a sign of what may happen all across the country on different levels of government as you're laying out, not just in the Congress. And I hope they warning.
I didn't have Janet Jackson on my bingo card for this conversation, Nina. One quick follow-up. When they do said soul searching, what do you think they find? What do you see as the problem?
I mean, they failed, Marky, and just more than one thing can be true at once. Just because Republicans are seeing a lot of daylight in the great state of California does not necessarily mean that people are in love with the Republican Party. They're not necessarily in love with either parties. And the polling shows that when you poll people about what they are most concerned about, as you were asking the congressman in the other segment, there are a lot of anxiety there. But when you have a duopoly, two parties that control, when people try to swing, they only have one or two places to really swing. And so they show their discontent, their dissatisfaction by swinging to the other party. The first thing the Democratic Party should have done is to really study that autopsy and not played with it, but they did. And so it is my sincere hope that my party, by revolt, I'm revolting within that party, Marky and Justin, definitely take some stock in what just happened in California and do things differently. And when you have the power, you can't blame Republicans. You got to stand up. Justin, and that's all the Democrats are doing.
Let me ask you, as the pollster, California has a notoriously slow vote counting system. Is it dissatisfaction, or is it just too early to call these results disappointing for Democrats? Could all these races look completely different in a week's time once the votes are tallied?
Well, it's a great question. So, yes, California can take weeks to finish tallying the votes, and the votes are still being counted. And I would anticipate these results to get tighter. But even if they get tighter, for example, let's say in the mayor's race, let's say that if Councilwoman Rahman gets a much tighter delta between her and Pratt, maybe even surpasses Pratt, which I don't think is likely, but let's say that happens, still the very proximity of Spencer Pratt to that top three space is really the story, as like Nina was saying. That's and right. Same thing for the governor's race. And the challenge here is that Californians, which again, Californians are Democratic. It is a blue state through and through. The city of Los Angeles is blue through and through. The likelihood of Republicans winning the governorship or winning the mayoral race is very, very low. I would say it's next to impossible. However, still, these are strong placements. They're very strong placements, and they reflect that huge malaise, which has to do with people's everyday lives. And unfortunately, for the Democratic Party in California and in the city of Los Angeles, if they don't take those concerns to heart, if they just kind of pigeonhole them and say, well, these are malcontents or they're MAGA or whatever it might be, they're missing their own opportunity. I did a poll just about 7 or 8 days ago on behalf of a colleague that took a look at this to say, what do people think is wrong? And the question was, does the state need a complete reboot? And is one-party rule, because California ostensibly has been ruled by Democrats for a couple of decades. Democratic process, right? This is what Californians want. So it's not like this is a shock or people are unhappy with it. But that history, that track record is a problem. 59% of people said California needs a complete reboot and a reassessment of the one-party governance. Excuse me, I shouldn't say rule, one-party governance. that has been the norm for 2 decades. People are just unhappy. In fact, they're angry, and that's the challenge.
I have to end it there, but Nina Turner, Justin Wallen, thank you so much for your time this morning and for the civil discourse. I always appreciate that here on News Nation. Have a wonderful day, you two, and we'll talk to you again soon. Now to this, everybody.